Alright everyone, well, hope you all had a wonderful Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever holiday you celebrate. Another year is almost upon us, the year 2019 to be exact, and well, let's look back at the year 2018 to see what the best movies, video games, and most underrated movies, and of course looking ahead into 2019, the movies and video games that I am anticipating for that year. But, well, first stop is movies. Yep, this is my top 10 best movie list, plus several honorable mentions of what I think the best ones of 2018 are. So, again, keep in mind people, this is just my opinion, so if you don't agree with me, you can comment, but please refrain from any negative and extremely profane comments. So, anyway, let's get to it, starting with number 10, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Alright, well, I already reviewed this one. Surprised, right? No, you're probably not, since I did enjoy it. I enjoyed the first one. For an idea that seemed a little bit gimmicky, it worked out pretty damn good first time around, and the second time around, brought back most of the main cast, including some new cast members, a new villain, a new sidekick character who we've seen before, and he hinted in the end of the first one. And, well, it actually follows through with Captain America Civil War more than the first Ant-Man movie, because obviously you see his character, spoiler alert there, but I won't give out too much more. Just watch my review, and I know I'm going to say this a lot throughout this entire video, because be ready, there's going to be plenty of movies that I already reviewed on this list, so go check it out. Small superhero makes a pretty good impression on the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Number 9, Deadpool 2. Yep, again, reviewed this one, go check it out if you want to. And I don't got much to say there. Ryan Reynolds is back. Bunch of other cast members returning from the first movie. Bunch of new cast members. New villain, new twist. Hilarious but obscene, and obviously parents be cautioned. Humor and profanity and fourth wall humor that's hilarious beyond belief. I mean, this one just really pushes the boundaries of what a fourth wall humorous type of X-Men movie can go. I mean, it's out of control this time around, but it was so entertaining. Ryan Reynolds just killed it once again. Number 8, Aquaman. Yeah, a DC comic hero movie this time around. Another one I just recently reviewed, and I know this one's fairly new, so I'm not going to give anything away. Just watch my review of it, which I really don't, obviously. And I ain't got much to say. I was hoping DC Comics will pull the magic hat trick, you know, with their spotty history that they've had over the past couple of years with their films, but this one actually pulls it off pretty good. Yep, just add water, people, because Jason Momoa is truly Aquaman. Just like Gal Gadot is truly Wonder Woman. Number 7, Black Panther. Gotta just love these comic book movies, right? And this one, another great addition to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which I didn't really know what to expect. I mean, yes, we've seen the character introduced in Civil War, Captain America Civil War to be exact, and yeah, it's really good. Chad Bosman, he did great as a character, and for a plot that you really didn't think was going to work out, it did great. I mean, Wakanda just looks glorious than ever. Action, fight scenes, it may be a little bit long, and it may have a lot going on in it, but all I could say is, it did great. So, all I could say is, Wakanda forever! Number 6, First Man. Okay, well, I anticipated this, but I didn't get a chance to review it because I had a lot of stuff going on during October when it came out, but yeah, it worked out pretty good, and the trailer I was a little bit worried about, and yes, I know the controversy with the counting out the flag planting scene was something that you really couldn't ignore, and it was a bit long for, you know, a movie that goes well over 2 hours. You'd think they would include it, right? I mean, this sounds like a whole anti-American thing, but I'm not going to get too carried away with that. But there is one part that I was ready to get pissed off with, that whole flag planting scene, that kind of makes up for it a little bit. I won't give it away, but if you see it for yourself, it's pretty damn good. I think Ryan Gosling did a great job, the whole cast did a great job. It's a lot of build-up and everything like that, and you don't know that so much of this was surrounding the whole moon landing scene, and of course it's with the whole competing with the Soviets to get up there and everything like that, but yeah, if you liked Apollo 13, you may have liked this one. It's a lot of sciencey stuff, a lot of, you know, that kind of, and the moon landing scene is just so glorious and so well choreographed, and once you get past all that. So again, a long movie, but I think it did a great job. From the same director that did Whiplash and La La Land and so forth, he just pulled the magic hat trick once again with this one. Number 5, Incredibles 2. Oh, yes. Well, Yep, obviously I reviewed this one, no surprise there. And Disney and Pixar, let's just say, are looking at an Oscar at this one. And all I could say is, wow, 14 years in the making, and it paid off. Well worth the wait. Well, okay, maybe not well worth waiting 14 years for, but yeah. It starts off exactly where the first one left off, and you figure the characters would be a lot older, but nope. They're exactly the same age as they were in the last film. Maybe a year older or whatever, but great action. Great focus more on the family rather than just Mr. Incredible, and, you know, it gives, of course, Elastigirl more action time, and the fight scenes with her are incredible. The villain may be a little bit criticizable, and not to give too much away on that, I think it was a pretty decent surprise. And yes, anyone going to see this movie with epilepsy, yep, seizure warning on this one. Otherwise, yes, Disney and Pixar definitely pulled it off. Even after all this time waiting, it was well worth it. Number 4, Halloween. Yes, that's the title of the movie. And even though it's, in case you're wondering whether this is a remake, sequel, it's a sequel. Yes, it's basically Halloween 2, as if the other Halloween 2 didn't really happen. Yeah, just like how they did Texas Chainsaw in 2013, trying to act like all the other Chainsaw sequels never happened. But let's not even compare it to that, because that was a steaming pile of crap. This is actually really good. Yes, I was really surprised with this one. Even after all these years, Michael Myers can still give a good scare on babysitters. Jamie Lee Curtis can still kick some ass. I mean, even at an old age, which she is in this movie, it takes place in the modern days, and it acts like, you know, it leaves off from where the first one ended off. The beginning scene, like when they're showing him the mask and everything like that, and how it starts up with its retro feel, you know, intro, it's just, man, it's like time never passed. It's Halloween, and, well, okay, yeah, that's one thing I do have to criticize, the title. Just calling it Halloween, even though it's a sequel, it really should have been given a subtitle like Halloween the Next Chapter, or Halloween Continues, or Halloween the Sequel, or something. Just Halloween? Yeah, it bears the same exact name as the original. Even the remake. So, that's the other thing I have to criticize. Other than that, great sequel, reboot, over other sequels, I should say. If you hated all the other sequels and remakes and reboots or whatever, have no fear, this one will make you feel right at home as you did with the original one. Number 3, Wreck-It Ralph 2, Ralph Breaks the Internet. Or just Ralph Breaks the Internet. Yes, if you loved the first one, I know I didn't review this one, but I loved the first one, and this one did not disappoint at all. The animation, all the characters, all of them returned. It's a great continuation. I love the friendship and all the screen time that both Ralph and Vanellope share. It just has a great feel to it. I was attached the whole time. Yeah, it's great. This time, of course, they go into the internet, and yes, you even have Gal Gadot doing a voice in this movie as, you know, the character in that, which it looks like kind of a Grand Theft Auto-ish type game. And yeah, all the humor and the puns and everything like that with going through the internet, it's just genius. It almost feels like the Emoji Movie, the good version of the Emoji Movie, if you get what I mean. The fact that they go all over the place and all these different product placements and everything like that, which I know product placements are kind of annoying in movies, but this one, have no fear, it's great. The princesses and Marvel characters, pretty much anything Disney got their hands on is pretty much put in this film, even if it's for just a brief cameo. It's so ingenious. They even have one musical number, which was great, which I didn't expect. The voice acting is just so on par. It's so perfected, just like the first movie. There's even not only a mid-credits, but there's also a post-credit scene. So, and they're both hilarious, too. Trust me. There's plenty of Easter eggs to other Disney films. It's just so great. Trust me. Ralph may have wrecked the internet, but he didn't wreck his career as making a good movie in general. Because this movie, gotta say, keep on wrecking, Ralph. Number 2, A Quiet Place. Yes, I already did a review on this one, a full review for Halloween Horror Fest, and I can't say how much more great this film is. We haven't really got that many great horror films this year, but there's been a few, and obviously one I just did mention on this list before, and this one is even better. I didn't expect it for such a rather generic type of plot and title, per se, and yeah, it is kind of a slow-moving film, you know, for a mostly dialogueless movie and a lot of sign language, but yeah, it's got clever tactics. It's really clever. It's got plenty of good jump scares. Anything that comes out, I mean, sound is pretty much the thing that really keeps you on edge once you hear a sound, because it draws attention to monsters, or not to give too much away, but it's great. There's a little bit of foreshadowing in a few predictable parts, but as I said, clever tactics like the waterfall scene and everything else, walking on sand and all that. It's just great. Emily Blunt did a great job, and her husband did a great job, real life husband, to be exact, directing this movie, and not to mention starring in it as the husband in the movie as well. And even the daughter did great, even though not only in the film is she deaf, but she's also deaf in real life. So yeah, terrific job. It did great. I'm a little bit iffy on them making a sequel. I feel like it's going to kind of ruin it, because I feel like it ended it just fine the way it did, but who knows how great, if it'll suck or not. So otherwise, this is probably the best horror film of the year, I would say. Alright, well, before I get to number one, a few honorable mentions here and there. Ben is Back. Obviously a drama film, and a really good one, surprisingly, about Julia Roberts playing a mother of a troubled, drug-addicted son. Yes, he's played by the same guy from Manchester by the Sea and a bunch of other films that you've probably seen before, and it's just very good. Yeah, trust me, it's well acted, very well produced. Yeah, it's a terrific drama movie. For most of you probably getting sick of seeing Julia Roberts in so many movies, have no fear, this one is really good. Creed 2. Yes, I know it seems like they're running, just like the Rocky franchise, they're going to start running this one into the ground, but it's a great continuation of what the first Creed movie did. I'm glad that Rocky stayed retired, and yeah, this film, it definitely takes the next step, making it a necessary sequel. It's really good. Go see it for yourself, people. Island of Dogs. Yes, a still animation movie, and a really creatively well-designed one with a shit ton of voice actors. I mean, there's so many of them, they'll just make your head spin. From Bill Murray, Scarlett Johansson, Edward Norton. I mean, that just scratches the surface right there. But it's so well crafted, and it's just so creative. And PG-13 rated, not to mention. So, yeah, not many of them like this. So, great job. Definitely go check it out. Ready Player One. Well, Ready reviewed this one, and I said I enjoyed it, despite a rather slow start and some CG, which wasn't really 100% appealing. And I know some people complained about all the nostalgic stuff thrown in there, and all these trademarks. I mean, there's a shit ton. I mean, you think Wreck-It Ralph has a lot? You think Roger Rabbit had a lot? Well, this one just puts those to shame. So, I'd say it's a nice welcome back for Spielberg into his typical trademark. May not be his greatest trademark, even though it's based off a book, which I sadly didn't read. But, great soundtrack, great nostalgic feel. I love all the references it has, like Back to the Future and so forth. The villain was a little bit kind of bland, and you kind of seen this plot before a little bit. It's kind of like a mix between Hunger Games and Willy Wonka a little bit, with the contest and it being rigged and all that. So, but I think towards the end I was really attached to the film. It took a little bit of time for the first half to really pace itself better and faster, but then the second half was a lot better. So, yeah, pretty good welcome back for Spielberg. Even though he hasn't done any terrible films, it's just he's done films that aren't necessarily his trademark and taking risks for trying to make these. But this one definitely shows that he could still do so. And the number one best movie of 2018? Just my opinion, people, and you probably already know it. Yep, Avengers Infinity War. Yes, obviously I reviewed this one and I couldn't tell you any more of how great this film was, how much anticipation was building up to it. I mean, you finally get to see the Avengers meet up with the Guardians of the Galaxy. You finally get to see Thanos in full action. I mean, this was just a full-scale epic war that every Avengers movie was just building up to. I mean, it was just, yeah, there's a lot going on in it. Yes, there's a lot of stories and a lot of characters they have to throw in this movie. It just feels like several movies put in one, but you expect it for this much. I mean, there's no other way you can do it. The action was spectacular. Every bit of action sequence, every bit of surprise, wow, it was just full-scale awesome. I mean, Marvel really outdid themselves. Not to insult DC or anything like that, but damn. they got a lot of catching up to do to be as good as Marvel, and it's still going to keep going, obviously. It still leaves you on a bit of a cliffhanger, and obviously you already know what I'm going to be anticipating for next year, but all I could say is definitely see it, watch it on Blu-ray. It's been out for several months. There's a post-credit scene, no mid-credit scene, which I'm surprised, but definitely is a must-see for what's upcoming. Man, Marvel did fantastic with this one. So that's my list of what I think the best movies are of 2018. Comment, like, but please, as I said, refrain from any negative and extremely obscene comments. Till next time, keep watching. See you next time for the best video game list sequel. Happy holidays.